and gentlemen, Bill Cancel here, the host of the Boutique BC2 show. Excuse me while I take a sip of espresso. How is everybody doing this morning? Happy 26th of December. It is time for the winning show. If you're watching, we just recorded the loser show. These two shows will be out back to back this morning. For those of you who've never seen the show before, let me remind you what this is. The winning show is designed to highlight the top 10 wins for Democrats in the past week. And it's really important that we remember what that means. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there. So a lot of people don't think that we're getting any gains during this difficult time. But the fact is we are. And the fact is that we are getting them at the national level. We're getting them at the state level. And it's important to remind people or heighten awareness of these wins that are happening. So let's get started. Number one, courts continue blocking Trump-aligned actions. This is huge. Multiple court rulings this week halted or slowed Trump-backed policies, reinforcing Democratic legal arguments on rule of law and executive limits. That's by AP News. So we still have the courts doing their job, which is really important. Number two, Democrats outperform expectations in special elections. This has been a common theme for this show that's been going on for many months now. That whenever we have these special elections, Democrats are doing very well. This is by Politico, and voters are voting, but they're just not voting for MAGA anymore, which is quite interesting. Number three, independent voters continue drifting towards Democrats. That's by Reuters. New polling shows independents breaking away from Trump-style politics, benefiting Democratic messaging on stability and governance. That's huge because once he's already losing MAGA, and now with the loss of the independents, the whole Republican Party is in complete and utter chaos and on the verge of complete destruction. Number four, Democratic economic message resonates despite GOP spin. Consumer sentiment polling shows voters credit Democrats more than Republicans on protecting jobs, wages, and benefits. That's by CNN. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, folks. When Congress comes back in January, they're going to have a lot of things on their plate, including the Epstein files. They also have a government shutdown coming up at the end of January. That's going to be super interesting to see how they play it out, to see whether or not they're just going to go all in on the bullshit, or they're actually going to try to defend their party and defend the country, more importantly, and do the right thing here. Stay tuned. My prediction is that Mike Johnson will bring Congress back January 5th, let them work for 2 weeks, and then send them back home because he doesn't want to deal with a government shutdown vote. Number five, abortion rights remain a winning issue for Democrats. Ballot initiatives and polling again show strategic public support for reproductive rights, an era where Democrats dominate the Republicans. That's by Pew Research. Republicans lost this fight, and voters remember this fight. A lot of people thought we forgot about that. We haven't forgotten about that. This is a big story that I think requires a lot more attention. The next one, number six, Democratic governors post strong approval numbers. Several Democratic governors closed out the year with solid or rising approval ratings, especially in swing and blue leading states. This is by Morning Consult. Competence still polls well. Success still polls well. That's the message. And that's an important message that this administration refuses to accept. It is what it is. Number seven, GOP culture war attacks keep backfiring. Democrats benefit as Republican culture wars pushes corporate, artistic, and public backlash, pushing swing voters away. They're pushing a lot of people away. This is by Time Magazine. Voters at this point want solutions. They don't want tantrums. And I think that that's a common message that we're seeing, of which the Anus Tangerine in charge hasn't gotten that message yet. Why? I don't know, but he hasn't gotten that message yet. This is an interesting point, too, and I think should be reported a little bit more. This is by the Washington Post. Democratic fundraising stabilizes while GOP money splinters. Democratic fundraising remains steady while Republican dollars are increasingly diverted to Trump legal defenses, which is causing Trump another problem because his donors are now starting to say, we're kind of done with this. We this is not what we voted for. This is not what we're paying for. So that's going to also be very, very interesting, especially while the Democratic fundraising remains stable. Last one, Democratic message discipline beats Trump's noise. This week, the Democrats stayed focused on policy, courts, and governance, while Trump dominated headlines with controversy and infighting. That's by Axios. So the theme of the week is that stability beats chaos, court still matters, and voters are paying attention. These are really three important things that we have to keep in mind. These are things that are happening today, folks. I didn't make this up. I cited everybody who wrote these reports and so on and so forth. So you can go back and fact check this and read up on your own. These are real things that are happening today, which again show that we are making a significant difference, and we have to keep making that difference every day. It's tiring, it's exhausting, it's demoralizing, it's depressing. I get it. I really get it. But this is the only thing that we can do right now to keep this momentum going. Have a great day, everybody. We'll be back in a little while for the Epstein File deep dive. Take care, everybody.